when he was a former Lagos State governor, what happened? Up to today, do we know what happened in Lagos State? How money was it's not propaganda. It is what the Lagos Ibadan press package to give us. That's what we are seeing now. If you build Lagos, or you build Nigeria now, you have enough money now. What are you doing with it? So it's not about using propaganda to use your mouth. Like one musician said, no be mad, they take work. Let us see what you are doing. So all those propaganda, we have seen it now. Breeze don't blow. We don't see everything now. So all those things they told us about Tinubu, we have discovered that it was all what? Hogwash. Is there any state in Nigeria? Is there any state in Nigeria that their population is 150,000 people? You go to a state where you have 8-9 million people, and you call 150,000 and say, take. What have you done?
And welcome to Update with Precious. And you know, say this are the place where we update you for all the information that happen for the country. And today I gave it as usual Barrister Darlington Agomo for the building. Barrister Darlington, say hello to our audience.
Yeah, Promise Chad, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Today it is me and I. I'm the one doing you today.
Yes, you
Precious is not here.
Not only you follow come.
Yes, only me join body come. So Barrister Darlington, we get plenty things so we'll touch. Like I don't know where we'll start, but maybe we'll start with this FCT minister Wike Gist, where we say he attacked Sheikh Husani and Ozekome. Say they mention, say the federal government, try to consider citizens in spending and every other thing, and they said this during a symposium in Abuja. So we can come fire back to Ozekome and say, you will be lawyer, and during your time, you always known for protecting corrupt politicians and in fraud cases, or protecting politicians during tribunal cases. You always take up tribunal cases and all of that. So you can't say, now you go stop all those money where you collect from politicians. Knowing fully well, say Ozekome, that's his profession. He's a lawyer. He's doing his job. So Barrister Darlington, starting with that, is it that Ozekome is doing his job, or does he have to be upright, by not working or frolicking with these politicians like this?
In fact, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised say Wike they talk like this. Because the last time I checked,
make you surprised?
Because Wike is equally a lawyer, though I don't know whether he has practiced or not.
He's doing practice.
Not all lawyers practice, but we have gone through the school, the school of lawyering. And Wike passed through it. Whether he did well or not is immaterial. The fact remains that he's a lawyer. Now, when you go through this particular institution, you are told that even the worst human beings deserve to be represented in court. That is why, even when an armed robber exchanged gunfire with police, and the armed robber is subdued and maybe he got injury, the government will spend their money to take the armed robber to the hospital. They will spend money to take him to hospital, heal him, make sure he's okay, before they will not take him to court for prosecution. And if that robber does not have a lawyer to represent him, the same government will give him a lawyer to represent him in court.
So in essence, you said Ozekome is doing his job like
that. Of course, that is what the oath of that profession requires. You are supposed to represent anybody and everybody without any exception. How does that connect with the bad leadership and bad governance of that Wike is talking about? How? That is he's making a lame excuse now. I hope Ozekome will reply him. Maybe he doesn't know. To tell him how it works. That is not the way to defend the government. We are talking of insensitivity of the government, like all this profligacy. How does it connect with Ozekome's profession? How?
So you remember, say, even Sheikh Husani, a former senator, when he said during his time, there was a time he traded for buying walkie-talkie radio for a constituent. So people come here and say, a whole senator, now this kind of thing, you won't give your constituents. So now, is it hypocrisy on Sheikh Husani's side?
There must be a reason why he did that. He want them to reach him. What did he do with walkie talk? Is it not for communication?
But he has been a serving senator, you understand, in this same Nigerian government. So why is it that when they leave office, now that time they come and say, things don't they work. They're supposed to shoot mouth for this and this. But they know they remember all those when they leave office.
Because when you are eating now, you are not supposed to be talking now. It's not possible. Yes, you are not supposed to be talking. Besides, there are people who have been always trying to be, a very vocal in the National Assembly. But you saw what happened to them. Take for example, Shehu Sani, when he was in office, when he was a member of the Senate, he was trying to expose Hammer the Ian and all that. And
I'm not sure senators.
Hammer the senators in the end, then. He went as far as telling us about 13 or 14 million a month. And these people got angry with him. Even the money his governor, El-Rufai, wanted to borrow, he blocked it in the Senate. And that angered El-Rufai, and they swore that he will not come back. So that's what you suffer. Okay, Ningi, who told us that we are running two separate budget. You saw what happened to him. So these are what you suffer when you are criticizing government. Every government in the world, they don't like to be criticized. And only in few democratic nations in the Western world that will allow criticism. In Nigeria, in Africa, if you criticize the government, you are an enemy of the state. Even when what you are saying is the truth. Like this budget Ningi talked about. Is that not what is coming out today? We are running almost 3 budgets in 1 year. So these are the issues now. But government doesn't want anybody to hear their secrets. They want everybody to remain in the dark about what they are doing. So if somebody now come out to say, look, this is what is going on, so that the people will know. Because information is power. If you don't know what the government is doing, you may not even know how to follow. But when people try to educate the public, a job the government is supposed to be doing, they still see you as an enemy. If you don't know, if you are not an informed citizen, how can you be an informed follower? That is the problem. That's one thing government does not realize. If you are leading people who don't know what you are doing, you are going to run into a very big problem, whether you like it or not. So when people are trying to expose what government is doing that's not good, they should learn from it. They should learn. Some of us, we are giving them intel. We are giving them information that help them to rearrange their policies. They cannot deny that. Because when they are in that cocoon, they feel that they know everything. Meanwhile, they don't. It is only somebody who is a bystander who will be looking at what is going on and say, no, there is something wrong in this place. So look at this thing. Maybe that's when they will shit up. So what Shehu Sani, in fact, I even like what he's doing now. Because there are people who have led that Senate, they didn't talk again. We have not even had their name, anything.
Really
so he's doing a very good job. Showing them their weaknesses. Like all the intel is giving Tinubu now. He has better take it to.
So that's it. Talking about budgets, now we mentioned budgets. Say even during Obasanjo time, this government, you get reports will come out. I think sometime last week or 2 weeks ago, say this present administration never give us breakdown. Say every quarter, governments they give breakdown of the way they spend budget for that year. You understand? From Obasanjo's time to Yar'Adua's time to Jonathan's time to Buhari's time. But it's only this government that has not given us a breakdown for 1 year. You understand? That's for 3 quarters now of how much they spent and the breakdown of the analysis and how they spent in the budget. So it's kind of people are saying that it's shrouded in secrecy and Nigerians want to know. Do you understand? Like you said now 3 budgets don't they run like this now, and nobody don't know how all those money they go and how they use and do like this. Nobody know the breakdown. Let's see, get it up for that one.
That will tell you the person in power is antecedents. I told you that a snake would always be long. When he was a former Lagos State governor, what happened? Up to today, do we know what happened in Lagos State? How money was earned and spent?
But they said he built Lagos and made Lagos what it is.
Then look at it yourself. Do you follow them with that propaganda?
No,
it's not propaganda. It is what the Lagos Ibadan press package to give us. That's what we are seeing now. If you build Lagos, or you built Nigeria now, you have enough money now. What are you doing with it? So it's not about using propaganda to use your mouth. Like one musician said, Enu Oshe, no be man dey take work. Let us see what you are doing. So all those propaganda, we have seen it now. Breeze don blow. We don see everything now. So all those things they told us about Tinubu, we have discovered that it was all what? Hogwash. Because if he's very transparent, you don't need to say what you are saying. He will be on his own, he will be doing it. When Jonathan was in office, they were publishing allocation to all the states. All the allocation every month they will publish it. But when the APC came, they jettisoned it. And all the small things that PDP did in office, I was thinking the APC would build on it, to continue there, but they jettisoned it. And now look at where we are. For a man who came to fight corruption and who told us where is transparency? You are spending money, you are spending a budget allocation, and we don't know where the money is going to. Like this 20 trillion naira they have borrowed in 1 year. And then we're supposed to see where that money is. If Tinubu have used that 23 out of it, he now say, ASU, oh yeah, this is your money, take. All the federal medical centers in Nigeria, oh yeah, take this 6 allocation, equip your hospital, give us what you need. They will now use money there and say, take. By now, you don't need to be talking now. I mean, the journalists are there who can go around and see this thing for themselves. But nothing to show. Meanwhile, the 20 trillion gone down the drain or in somebody's pockets. No explanation, nothing. It's all about promises. Look, I don't want somebody to come and tell me tomorrow that 200 trillion was spent on palliative to Nigerians. Like this thing they read that now. They will give 150,000 households in each state, this and that. What are you talking about? Is there any state in Nigeria? Is there any state in Nigeria that their population is 150,000 people? You go to a state where you have 8-9 million people, and you call 150,000 and say, yeah, take. What have you done? There is no state in Nigeria today where 50 or 60% of the population of that state are so rich that they don't need money. If you go to any state now, only 1 or 2% or 5% are rich. The remaining 95, what happens to them? I don't know the people that need your palliative, but you don't call out some APC members, gather them somewhere and use them as photo shoots to come and tell us that these are the people that collected your palliative. That's not how to run a government. All this money they read out now, I am telling you, 80% of that money will go into private pocket or they will not be released. You just had the figure, but you will never see it. That's what happened when they release all these figures that they give you palliative. All that money can never come out. I am sure of that. That's why, what's it called? The other woman in humanitarian ministry. That was why Edu, because there was no checks and balances. As long as the party members that are running the show, nobody will bother to check them. It is only when they leave office now we begin to hear and see what they have done. This palliative is a way of siphoning money. At least I have a Jew as an example. So why do you now want to go through the same route? Why? Instead of you to do the needful, clear this insecurity. Go the pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria, the major ones. Please, how much do you need so that you can produce the needed drug? Give them money. That is how to, help the industries to grow. All these, multinational industries that are giving people jobs and producing goods and services, give them money. So that from there, these goods and services will come out, at a very reasonable price. But you are giving people handouts. Handout that will not even last for a week in their homes. A week is too much now. And you are repeating the same thing every time. Palliative. Are we going to live on palliative forever?
Right, so that since you mentioned about insecurity now, farmers and how farmers go to their farms, farm things, goods, will not get food stuff. You remember, say yesterday, in the news, Benue community, then come out prior, say bandits now they request 20 million naira. They hold 20 million. Now waiting bandits now. Monthly, no be yearly, no be one time thing, no be one of 20 million monthly. Now waiting bandits now. They force Benue farmers to pay so that they go fit access their farms, their own farms in their own lands. You don't reach like that for Nigeria. We say non-state actors like they call them, don't form parallel governments for this country in the north. Now, if na another place like southeast or south, wetin go happen? How the government, go use react? And now wey dey happen for the north. Wetin get to talk now?
You see, we have allowed it for too long. I will not blame them, but the bandits. In fact, I will not blame them at all. The country, the federal government of Nigeria have provided a fertile ground for terrorists to thrive. That is why they are acting with impunity and arrogance. If this federal government has been very, very forthright in fighting terrorism, by now, no terrorists will be doing this. In fact, they will not be in Nigerian soil. Not to talk of making demand. Look at it yourself. There was one notorious one called Bello Tojo, who is even a Nigerian. He took over half of Zamfara. And he was banned. The day he was banned, all the state government officials felt like they went to witness it.
So wetin sorry say I cut you off. Wetin dey mean na say that thing wey late General Sani Abacha talk say insecurity last more than 24 hours for a country, say the government hand somehow fit dey inside or one thing.
Correct. 100%. In fact, 120% correct. 120% correct. Because I don't see why these people have overwhelmed our military and security agencies that they could not do anything. If not that government is deliberately looking the other side, why these guys are roaming wide. And every day, Tinubu will be saying, food insecurity, state, give me land. State, I want you to produce more food. Meanwhile, the real reason why we don't have food, the federal government is aware, but they kept quiet. They pretend as if they didn't know. Every day, in fact, since Tinubu came into, we have been talking about the food security, and I'm asking myself, this food, is it not on the land that they will cultivate it? If terrorists are taking over the land, where will they now plant the food? Nobody is asking Tinubu this question. Every day, you'll be disturbing state governor, give me land, go and plant food, as if it's easy. Before they came into office in 2015, do we have food crisis in Nigeria? Why can't they go and ask themselves a question? Did we have food crisis in Nigeria before 2015 when they came into office? So they should ask themselves that question. They are the ones that allowed this thing to fester. Look, you see that one is just the Benue.
And we also remember that the focal point of their campaign in 2015 was fighting and curbing insecurity.
Change. So this thing that they did, is a test run. They are testing the waters in Benue. By the time they succeed now, you will see the bandits will now spread it around all over the state, all over the country. When they go to any farming community in any state, they tell you, bring tax if you want to survive, if you want to live. Then people will be struggling to contribute money to pay criminals.
So if you don't say, you remember say by Sandality, you remember say for Niger State and for Kano, that thing will even happen now. For Kaduna, they happen say bandits will come tell farmers or tell citizens, this is what you do, you pay taxes to us.
Tomorrow in Niger State, the governor have tried that several times. They are taking
so
part of
how come these people dey more? Is it that these people are more powerful than the government?
We should be asking the federal government to, because the last time I checked, they said after God in power, the next thing is government. So if our government is so weak that they cannot fight terrorists and bandits, then you can see where we are. There is nothing there. There are no other explanation except that government. Because I remember when something happened in Aba, they said some unknown government killed soldiers.
Yes.
When Tinubu was reading the press release, he said that we have the capacity to deal with anybody. And I said, look at it. You have the capacity, and terrorists have been harassing everybody for over 15 years now. You have the capacity. You are not there with terrorists. But because they kill soldiers in somewhere in Niger State, you are not telling us that you have the. You don't need to tell me you have the capacity. Let me see it. Let me see it so that I'll be happy that yes, a government my government is protecting me and my property. You don't need to tell me.
But by Darlington, you remember that security tops our budget every single year for over 8 years now.
Of course.
So what happens to that money? What do they do with those funds?
Oh, thank God you brought that issue up. Before Buhari left office, that was I think that should be in either March or March 2023. The National Assembly member, I think that was the House of Rep chairman on security and the military and all that. They brought out the list of approval they have made to the military. And they said this thing is over 12 trillion naira. Yes, there's no result. 12 trillion, yes, no, and in 7 months, so, I mean in 7 years. 12 trillion in 7 years. They were lamenting that where is the money, where is the equipment? Why is this security still festering? Nobody asked Buhari to come and explain anything. It's either the money is going to the wrong hands, or they are not even buying the equipment at all. They are just sharing the money. There's no other explanation, because last time I checked again, you don't eat money. You spend it to buy things. You spend money to buy things. That's an exchange, means of exchange. So if you are giving money to go and buy something and you do not buy that thing, definitely the money should be somewhere. The money should be somewhere. So this National Assembly, are they not supposed to probe and find out? Let them give them report of all the equipment they bought. At least if we buy something today, there will be receipt now. There will be invoice. Nobody do not this thing. That is, we are approving money. In our last budget now, army top the list. Yet, insecurity everywhere. Bandits are even up their game. They are not collecting, they are not telling villagers to pay money, protection money and the ransom money and all that.
All right, thank you very much. That is for your opinion.